Manchester United and Eric Ten Hag simply need to part ways. Now, this categorically cannot continue anymore. I'm not even a United fan, but the football they are playing is absolutely diabolical. It is terrible. Crystal Palace 4, Manchester United 0 at Selhurst Park. No Bruno Fernandes, no Marcus Rashford, and potentially no more Eric Ten Hag. Max Brannin. We're gonna jump into it. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video. Big up Glasner. Crystal Palace's manager, Glasner, has absolutely destroyed Man United, home and away. What a appointment that is, by the way, for Crystal Palace. I don't think I've seen a more dominant, more pathetic Manchester United defensive display all season. Forget David Moyes. Forget Louis van Gaal. Forget Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I don't think I've seen Man United this bad in the Premier League era. In the Premier League era. We are 35 games into a Premier League season, and they are on -3 goal difference. Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Villa, Spurs, Newcastle, Chelsea all have better goal difference than Man United. They have only scored 52 goals this season, which is less than West Ham, less than Brighton, and equal the same amount as Fulham. Crystal Palace tonight were unbelievable. They wanted it more. Mateta, I think it's Jean-Philippe Mateta is his full name. Eze and Elise tore Man United's defence to absolute pieces. From minute 1 to minute 90, United were toothless. They stink. 7 shots against the Crystal Palace side that have had a very up and down season, that are currently sitting 14th. Don't get me wrong. They are in very, very good form. You know, they've beaten West Ham 5-2. They've beaten Newcastle. They've drawn with a tough Fulham side. And they've just battered Manchester United. But Palace have done the double over United this season. They beat them at their ground as well. I don't think I've seen Man United this bad. I'm going to be honest. They are embarrassingly bad. And I'm excited because this is practically guaranteed Tottenham a Europa League position. Let's talk about it. Michael Elise. I mean, this guy, if he does not get snapped up by an Arsenal, a City, or a Liverpool in the summer, he has got all the credentials to be a top winger. And I'm talking top winger. Genuinely, when he's on the ball, it's a joy to watch. 22 years of age, having a very, very good season. 17 Premier League appearances, 13 goal contributions, 9 goals, 4 assists. Jean-Philippe Mateta, majority of the Palace fans thought this guy was finished. They didn't rate him. They didn't think he was good enough. He's now got 12 Premier League goals. He's absolutely flying. A majority of them been in the last 5 or 6 games. The first goal, right? The defending for it is absolutely embarrassing. You know, I think it's Minoz picks up the ball from a throw-in, throws it into Elise, and then Elise passes it into Mateta, who dance passes Casemiro. I mean, that guy, if anyone didn't think he was finished, the guy certainly is finished now. Puts Casemiro on the floor, drives towards the penalty area, and then rifles it straight into the back of the net from the shouldn't be beating Onana on his front post. But the defense, yes, Man United had an awful defense tonight. Yes, you're playing Casemiro at centre back. Yes, you're playing Johnny Evans. But Eric Ten Hag is probably to blame for majority of these injuries. Man United have had something like 25 plus injuries. It's clear the training sessions are far too intense because Man United have only been in one competition practically since the new year. They got knocked out of the Champions League early. Sorry, the Premier League and the FA Cup is all they've been in the new year. But they are having injury after injury after injury. And if anyone thought Bruno Fernandes is not important to that Man United side, just look at them without him tonight. Absolutely spineless. Spineless. Dreadful Man United. Genuinely, I'm running out of words. The second goal comes from a moment of magic. Sorry, the first goal was Michael Elise, where he dribbled past players. And Man United's defence just went, you know what? Come at us. The second goal was Mateta's, where he rifled it in the near post. And then Mitchell makes it 3-0 in 58 minutes. The defending, the positional marking from Man United defenders. I mean, Eric Ten Hag didn't. I mean, yes, he doesn't have the bench. You know, that Sofran Amrabat is basically the Moroccan Harry Winks, Ahmad Diallo, and you're bringing on Ethan Wheatley. You haven't got the bench to choose from. And then Elise gets another goal, and it's like you are 4-0 down on 66 minutes against a Crystal Palace side. Fair play to Palace. I'm not going to take any credit away from them because tonight they were magnificent. But in terms of Manchester United, they are all over the place. Arsenal genuinely could quite easily score 5 or 6 goals past them. They couldn't beat a Burnley side at Old Trafford. They couldn't beat a Bournemouth side away. They conceded 4 goals against Chelsea. They went behind not once, but twice against Sheffield United. And it took a penalty shootout to beat a championship side, Coventry. The last Premier League game they won was on the 9th of March, other than that Sheffield United game. They got embarrassed in the Manchester derby, outclassed by Marco Silva at home against Fulham. They genuinely look absolutely abysmal. That whole club, from the very top to the bottom, under the new ownership, has got to be restructured. A new director of football, new players. Man United need a massive rebuild. And whoever is going to be the manager of that club genuinely has an almighty job on their hands. Because that Man United jersey, that Man United manager's role, it holds weight. It's pressure being a Man United manager. It's pressure being a Man United player. Look at some of the signings they've made. 60 odd million quid on Mason Mount, hasn't performed. Brought Sofiane Amrabat, that Moroccan Harry Winks, hasn't performed. Onana is getting exploited by every means necessary. The defense is falling apart. They've got injuries coming out of their backside. They look all over the place. Man United right now genuinely look a shadow of the team that Alex Ferguson had. They've tried win now managers with Jose Mourinho. They've tried bringing in the tacticians of Louis van Gaal. They've brought in David Moyes. They've brought in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You're now going on to your 6th manager post Fergie, and they look right now as bad as ever. Eric Ten Hag is not to blame for all of this, but he has to take some accountability because they are right now embarrassing. We saw Eric Ten Hag at Ajax, and we know that if you've got an academy that churns out players at Ajax, you're going to have a semi-decent squad. He did really well. He won 2 or 3 Eredivises. He got them to the Champions League semi-final. But right now, clearly his tactics are not working with these set of players. And clearly these players just aren't good enough. 2 things can be right at the same time. You're playing a 34-year-old Johnny Evans, right, who was good maybe 10 years ago. You're bringing on Amrabat. You got a double pivot of Christian Eriksen, who's got no legs, and Kobe Mainoo, who's a good player. You're still persisting with Anthony when the guy's got 1 Premier League goal this season. Mason Mount is about as creative as me in a penalty area, and Garnacho for me is one of the only players in that. But Garnacho and Dallo for me, alongside Bruno Fernandes, are one of the only players in that Man United team and squad this season that can hold their head high. Dallo's probably been their best player. They look absolutely abysmal, disgraceful defending. Crystal Palace barely flexed their muscles tonight and scored 4 goals. Manchester United had 2 shots on target. Couldn't beat a Burnley side that are absolutely embarrassingly bad and have conceded 74 goals this season. Man United have got so much work to do. Whoever is the new chairman, whoever's going to be the new director of football, the new manager, they have got so much work to do. I don't actually think people understand. That job is huge. And whoever's coming in, I don't think short term they're going to get a tune out of these players. It's all about getting through to next season, bringing in new players. But as it stands, Man United genuinely could be going into next season without even being in Europe. They've still got to play Newcastle, which Newcastle next Wednesday, in my opinion, could quite easily score 3 or 4 goals past them. They've got Arsenal on Sunday, who could quite easily score 5 or 6 goals past them. And then they've got Brighton away. I'm going to say it right now. Man United aren't going to win any of those games. Man United, I don't think will be in Europe next season. Genuinely, they are terrible. Absolutely terrible. Let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you do smash the subscribe button. Make sure you smash the like button. We just hit 5K and we're now at 5.1. The support is absolutely insane. Enjoy your days. See you soon.